Circle of Iron is a martial arts film. It is has a cult following because it was the story was co-written by Bruce Lee. The story, not the screenplay, but ultimately Bruce Lee would have played the multiple roles character that David Carradine plays. This movie takes place in a sort of dystopian Earth where technology never took off and people, you know, do martial arts. Very nomadic lifestyles. There's different cultures in there you can see, but not one single one, you know, overtakes the other. And in the opening scene, we have a martial arts tournament, and one of the fighters, Cord, he is a sort of loner without a school, without a sort of an orphan. He breaks the rules by punching a man while he's down. Automatically gets him disqualified. So he is not allowed to go on the pilgrimage to find Zetan and the mystical book that he protects. So instead this other fighter goes, so Cord decides to follow this other fighter and just sort of finds Zetan on his own way. Along the way he keeps bumping into this blind man who keeps giving him advice, and then eventually he goes on the pilgrimage to find Zetan. So this movie is a martial arts film, but the martial arts sequences aren't very exciting. It's not about the choreography, it's more about the philosophy. And it was probably one of the more interesting films I've ever seen. It's more about enlightenment and self-improvement, and it's all sort of packaged in this sort of action adventure mystery sort of, quest, almost like a video game. You have to fight your way to a boss, and the boss has a certain way of defeating the boss. But it's also a very deep and sort of emotional sort of story, and I quite dug it. And even the movie Kung Fu Panda borrows from this film. So even though this film is pretty dated, and David Carradine is probably the best part of this movie, and the fight scenes aren't anything to scoff at. It's not about the martial arts sequences, it's about the characters and the journey. So I, for one, was into that. Other people might not be into that. So Circle of Iron, I think it's really interesting and worth checking out if you like, any of Bruce Lee's films or his philosophies or anything like that, or if you're just interested in a different kind of martial arts film. So I give Circle of Iron a 6.5 out of 10.